It's nasty stuff. Looks like black gold Texas tea. Looks like I struck oil. EK2 here, the hands, to show you what to do. Today I'm going to show you how to unclog a bathroom sink. I've been having problems with my bathroom sink lately. It's been draining slow, so I'm going to flip up the stopper lever, make sure it's closed, fill it up with a little bit of water, let it fill up here for a little bit. It's not going to take much because the drain is running very, very slow. Okay. Now the first thing, this is a pop-up stopper right here. When you push the lever down, it'll pop up the stopper and let the water out. I do know that underneath here, there's a lever that ties into the drain and it hooks in there. A lot of times it catches hair, but I do know it's not any hair caught up in there because really I don't have too much hair to lose. And I know that's not the problem. Also underneath there's a drain, a P-trap underneath there. I know it's not clogged up, but we're going to take the P-trap loose. And we're going to inspect it anyway to see if it's anything in there. But I know the main thing, once the water goes down the drain, it travels, that way before it goes down into the stack pipe to go out into the waste. Okay, so I'm going to pop up the stopper. And as you can see, the water's not going out too fast. A lot of times you'll get that little, I call it a little tornado effect. And you'll see that the water's going out, but it's going out very slow, very slow. So what we're going to do, we're going to wait until it drains all the way out. And then I'm going to go underneath and unstop the stopper. Okay, as you can see, the water has now drained completely out of the sink face bowl. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to go underneath and we're going to take a look at the P-trap to disassemble it to get ready to snake the drain out. Okay, now we're underneath the sink and this is the trap right here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll see if we can get a good shot. Underneath back here, this is where the pop-up stopper goes into the sink back in here, or into the drain pipe. And if you raise it up and down, there's a little stem in there that catches onto the stopper. That's where a lot of your hair gets clogged up in there. So I don't know if we can get a good shot, but as you can see, there's a nut on there. So all you have to do is take that nut off, pull it out, clean it out, and put it back in, tighten it back up, make sure you don't have any leaks, and you're pretty much good to go. But right now, we know that that's not the problem. I'm not going to take it out because I'm sure that that's not the issue. What I'm going to do is right here, we're going to take off this nut here and this nut here. And then this nut right here, we're going to pull that out because I want to pull this whole unit out so I can run the snake down in here. And it's a bend in the wall, and it's going to go to my right to, to drain. But before we do that, I found an old pan that I had. It's a little grungy, but we're going to take this pan and set it under here just to catch some leaks. So whatever, it's always going to be water in here because what happens is the water stays in this part right here. This traps the gases that comes back to stop a back feed for the gases to come back through the pipe. So the water is constantly sitting in this part right here. So it blocks the gases so it doesn't go up the pipe and you smell it throughout your house. But sometimes you may want to use a pair of channel locks to undo them. I don't have my channel locks right here, but I'll go and get my channel locks in a second because I'm going to need my channel locks to get that nut off right there. So, right now you can see the water. I think you can see the water draining out right now because water is always constantly caught in that trap there. So, that part's unloosened. Let's do this side. Draining out pretty good out of there. All right. Get that part off. This one's off. Water's looking a little grungy in there. I don't want to tip it all the way out, but you can see it's a little grungy looking. Poured it out, nothing came out. It's a little bit black down in there. I guess you can see that a little bit. A little grungy in there. But that is not what's stopping the water to not come out of the pipe. Okay, we're going to set that aside. And if you bear with me, I'm going to run and get my channel lock pliers so I can get this nut off back here. Okay, I got my channel lock pliers. This is can't find my smaller pair, but this is pretty big size right here, so these are going to have to do. So move this stuff over a little bit, give me a little bit of room. Okay, a little bit more room in here. Put some of this brown paper. You can get this paper. I use it for just covering up a few things, but it helps out a lot. Jeez. There we go. For some of you ladies, sometimes if you have a clogged drain, a lot of times if you have a lot of hair, it'll be caught up in the drain stopper there. But if you want to try to save yourself a little bit of money, if it's not a major plumbing job where you got to call out a plumber, you can sometimes do some of this stuff yourself. But as you can see, there's starting to be some gunk. Pretty nasty stuff, so that's why you always should wear some gloves when you're doing this kind of stuff. That's why the plumbers get paid the big bucks, because sometimes it gets to be a nasty job. But we're gonna get this nut off. Probably should get a new nut and put it on there, but all the stores are closed right now, so get this thing out of here. Alright, there's a little plastic washer in here. It's beveled. I don't know if you can see the beveled end on it, but make sure the beveled end goes towards the wall. We're going to set that back in here so we don't lose it. Okay, next thing we're going to do, I got my snake here. This is just a handheld snake. You can get it at your local stores. I'm not going to really show you the tip, but it's a coiled wire cable. It's a little bit grungy on here because I didn't clean it the last time I used it. Yeah. I don't know, it looks like a bunch of fur or something on there, but what I'm going to do is start feeding the... I guess I should have pulled this crap off of here. Yeah, screw it. Start feeding it down the line. Once you feel a little wall there, a little blockage, you know, this one's a hand crank. I guess I should have showed it to you, but I don't know what model. This is a brass craft drum auger. So basically, I think this is about 15 feet, 1/4 inch in diameter. So this should work for what I need to do. So basically, you get in here, you work it in there. There we go. Get it going down in that pipe. Give it a little few turns. I think there's an elbow right there inside of that wall. I gotta get past that bend there. I think most of my blockage was right at the front of it anyway. My kitchen sink is tight on the back side of that wall. The drains come in, and both drains will eventually tie in together down the line. It's just a repetitive process. It's not that difficult. Just undo the nut on the end of the barrel. Give it a few spins, and it'll feed itself through. Only do it one more time. Try to just put a little bit more out. You know, I can hear it now. I can hear it on the other end. You guys probably can't hear it, but what I hear, I made it all the way to the stack. So I know for sure that I'm good now. I can hear it binding, banging up against the stack inside. Hey, but that's good. Okay, just gonna start feeding it, bringing it back out. Undo my nut. Just pull the cable back out. Pull it out slowly. Feed it. Just feed it right back into the. Feed it right back into the drum. It's gonna be all gooky. What I'm gonna do after I finish with this job here, I'm going to clean this canister out. But what you want to do, once you finish cleaning, clean up all your equipment, all your tools, wash it out with bleach. As you can see, all this black gook that's in here. So that's what I used, brass craft drum auger, 15 feet. So I'm going to clean up some of these pipes and put them back together. This is pretty grungy in there. I don't know if you can see down in there, but it's pretty nasty. So I'm going to clean some of these up. I don't have any new ones with me. I'll clean these up and then put them back together. And we'll call it a day. We'll test the drain and make sure it drains out. Okay, I'm back. What I did, I tried to, since I didn't have any new pipes or anything, I got some bleach and went in there and bleached it out, because before you saw all that grime and crud. I didn't show you, I took off this piece because it was kind of in the way when I was snaking out the drain. So now here's the tail piece. Couldn't get that grime off right there, but for the most part, the interior of the pipe is pretty clean in there. So now what we're going to do, we're going to just reassemble it and put it back together. Hopefully we don't have any leaks. So this piece right here, this is a tail piece. And what I'm going to do, first we're going to slide that nut back on it. Work that nut back on it. And remember before, we got this little washer right here. And like I said, this is a kind of a grimy looking washer, but we're going to put it back on. Maybe tomorrow I'll go to the store and buy a new washer. Let's see if I can let you see. I don't know, one end of it is beveled. You know, it's tapered on one end. So the taper, the wide end is going to go back towards the nut. So we're going to slip it back on the pipe just like this. And pretty much you can see where the nut was. So we're going to slide it right about there. I'm going to temporarily slide this part right back in here. I'll give it just a little twist. I'm not going to tighten it up all the way because I have to do a little adjustments on my pipes when I hook them back up. So we'll get this nut started. And that's the thing too, when you're using the stuff that came off, it's a little rust on them, you know. Sometimes the nut just doesn't want to start right, so we'll play with it for a minute, get it going. Well, this is the real stuff. This is what happens in the real world when you're doing things like this. You know, there may be a little bit of video editing, but to speed up the process. But this is what happens in the real world. Something as simple as this nut tightening up on here, it just wants to give me problems. Come on, baby. Alright, there we go. It's tightening up now. Okay. Put this piece back on. Now, we'll just have to, well, there's one thing I didn't do. And didn't put the nut on for the other piece, so. Well, there's some of that gunk back on there. We're going to take this off so I can get the nut back on. I didn't want to have to screw around with this black gunk anymore. But I wasn't paying attention. No big deal. It happens. On the tail piece, we got to feed this nut back on so we'll be able to tighten her back up. So that goes on just like that. Once again, put the nut back on. Slide the washer on. I had my pipes nice and clean. Now I had to touch this doggone thing and get them a little dirty again, but no. During the cleanup phase, I'll wash everything down again. Okay. Yeah, I had everything nice and clean. Basically here it's just, you know, you're just lining your pipes back up. Make a few minor adjustments. Put them back on. Tighten them back up. I got a little grimy down here, so it's kind of nasty, but you know something, when you have a big major job or something like that and you have to do some major plumbing, you got to call a plumber in. And a lot of times people wonder why they get paid the big bucks. And when you get down here and you do some things yourself, then sometimes you'll figure out some of those jobs are pretty nasty. That's tight there. Tighten up this one. One more down here. And we got to tighten up the nut on the tail piece. And then we're going to give it a test. Okay, I think that's tight. I'm just going to hit this just very gently. You really don't need to, but I like to just give it a little snug. And then after that, we're going to check for leaks. Well, I should have put the paper. I'm going to take my paper down now. Probably should have made it a little bit taller. I got some of that gook on the wall. The reason is I don't want to set my my bucket right on the top of this gook. But this helps. It cuts down on cleaning. That's what I'm talking about. You see that water running out of that drain now? Look at it. Before, if I would leave the stopper up like that, the water would start building up, you know, inside of the sink. But I'm very happy with it now. Now I can get my sink back in business. Get in here, and when you shave, you don't have all those little hairs just lingering around the, you know, the top of the sink after the water runs out since it was stopped up. So, as you can see now, boom. That's how you unclog a bathroom sink. Thanks for watching. EK to the hand.